Hello, my name is Amelia, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through the Blockchain Lab. And before we get into it, let me first explain blockchain technology for those of you who don't know. It's a way of recording transactions across a network of computers instead of one central authority. So, security, transparency, and decentralization are the three important words that are associated with blockchain technology. And first, let's start with DeFi or decentralized finance. Think about a normal grocery run. You load up your cart with apples, bananas, an orange, and some strawberries, and then you pay. Well, this diagram here shows the DeFi version of paying where money flows directly from customer to store, which is enforced by a smart contract instead of a bank. It's peer-to-peer, costs less, and anyone with an internet connection has access. The trade-off is that when something breaks in a DeFi transaction, there's no customer service line to call because there's no company standing behind it. Now, with CeFi payment flow, this is the traditional way things are. The payment doesn't go straight from you to the store, it goes through the bank, then the card network, and then the store's bank, and then back again. It's basically a chain of intermediaries who each take a cut and each have to be trusted. So DeFi is still a young and volatile corner of finance. Its total value has swung from over $100 billion earlier this year down into the 70s, partly from a rough crypto market and partly from a handful of high-profile hacks. So decentralization buys you openness and control, but it asks you to give up the safety net that centralized finance provides. Moving on to dApps. Now, decentralized applications run on a blockchain instead of a company's server. This section lays out four things that make a dApp a dApp. No single entity in charge, open source code anyone can inspect, smart contracts doing the enforcing instead of a person, and usually a token tying the whole economy together. Now, Uniswap lets people trade crypto without a centralized exchange. Aave lets people borrow and lend crypto assets directly. Axie Infinity and Decentraland were the poster children of blockchain gaming and virtual worlds back in 2021. It's worth noting that a working piece of software and a hype cycle are two different things. And most of what got built during that excitement period didn't really survive. This tab sets up a distinction you need to know before NFTs make any sort of sense. Fungible versus non-fungible. A fungible asset is interchangeable. $100 is $100, whether it's one bill or five 20s. And so go ahead and click on this, and you can see that the bill breaking down into smaller denominations is still worth the full amount. So nothing about breaking it up changes its value. A non-fungible asset doesn't work that way. This section uses the Mona Lisa as an example. There's only one of it, and if it's damaged, you can't swap it in an identical replacement because there isn't one. Its value is tied up in being that specific singular object. That's the whole concept NFTs are built on. So yeah, go ahead and click to damage, and once damaged, the artwork loses significant value. Moving on to NFTs. Now, an NFT is a unique digital asset. Think art, music, video, a virtual item that lives on a blockchain and represents ownership of one specific thing. The same way owning the actual Mona Lisa is different from owning a print of it. The demo on this page actually lets you upload a photo and generate a hash. That hash becomes your on-chain proof that you own that specific file. This site also lays out four factors that tend to drive what an NFT is actually worth, whether it was the first of its kind, like Jack Dorsey's first tweet, or it comes with real utility, like access to something, uh, how rare or unique it is, and its ownership history. The same way a jersey worn by a famous player in a famous game is worth more than an identical, unworn one. Worth a quick reality check on that first example. Dorsey's tweet sold as an NFT for $2.9 million in 2021. And when that buyer tried to resell it a year later, the highest bid came in around $280. Now, that gap is basically the whole NFT market story in one transaction. The 2021 boom was driven heavily by speculation, and a lot of that value evaporated once the hype cooled. The market hasn't disappeared, but it has shifted. Less profile picture flipping, more practical use like event tickets, gaming items, and membership access. So if you kind of go here to the interactive demo, select an image, let's just say this one, click create NFT, and then there is that unique token hash that we were talking about earlier. All right, moving on to tokens. They are the digital assets that make all of this run. A token built on a blockchain might represent a cryptocurrency, a utility inside an app, or even a security. And they're what dApps use to power transactions, rewards, and governance. If DeFi and dApps are the economy, tokens are the currency and the shares changing hands inside of it. So let's go ahead and enter a recipient's address. And we're going to give this person, I don't know, 500 Ethereum tokens. Bada bing, bada boom. And then let's say we'll go ahead and give this person, yeah, 100,000 tokens. Bam. There you go. Last but not least is smart contracts. Really, it's the engine underneath everything that we were just talking about. A smart contract is code stored on a blockchain that automatically executes once its conditions are met. So there's no lawyer or anyone in between, like a bank or a middleman. This is what makes the DeFi payment flow work back in tab 1, and it's what powers the dApps in tab 3. And down here, you could build a simple contract yourself and watch the logic play out. So let's go ahead and name the contract. All my money is here. Anyways, blockchain is not just one thing. It's a set of tools for removing the middleman. And DeFi, dApps, NFTs, tokens, and smart contracts are just different jobs those tools get used for. Thanks for watching, and until next time.